Hello, eavesdroppers. Welcome back to another pop culture tarot reading. On today's episode, we are looking into Eddie Parra betraying Karmelo Anthony. In regards to the often Metcalf unaliving and Karmelo's chances of getting a retrial, we will pursue that in another reading. I'm going to do that probably next. But in this reading, we're going to be looking at the character Eddie Parra, the young man who apparently invited, allegedly, everything I say in this reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I have no proof. And again, I hope you all are feeling like $1,000,000. But we're going to be looking into Eddie Parra, who is the so-called play cousin of Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend. And he is said to be the one who initially invited Karmelo under the tent. I'm going to look into, like, what were his motivations? Did he intentionally set Karmelo up? Was this some kind of major betrayal? Is he a Judas, as people are saying? As once he got to the trial, he did deny knowing Karmelo at all until the defense attorney produced pictures and evidence that he and Karmelo were indeed friendly with one another. So let's look at Eddie's energy. I also want to know if he feels guilty. I want to know if any of them feel guilty for what looks like a setup, which has now costed Karmelo 35 years, possibly, of his life. Show me Eddie's energy in general. What kind of person is Eddie Parra? Eddie Parra. It says he knows right from wrong. He has the Hierophant here. It says to let your conscience be your guide. Walk the straight and narrow and do the right thing with a moral compass. This is about society and its rules. Yeah, so I feel Eddie, I mean, he could be a Taurus. I feel he feels very convicted in his spirit for not telling the truth here. He knew right from wrong. So this means that he was raised or taught maybe religiously. He could be Catholic. He could be a Christian. He could be Catholic. And he knows right from wrong. We have knock knock. We have a surprise visit, a pop-up, a shocking return, or a delivery. So this feels to me like he understands that karma will come his way. He knows that he will have to pay for this, but he doesn't know how to get out of it. Show me more about his energy. We have a heat wave. We have tempers flaring, explosive arguments, passion ignited and fired up, and insane chemistry and attraction. And there have been speculations that he may have an attraction to Karmelo's girlfriend, and that could be the motivation for him being a Judas. Show me more. He could also be pointing out the fight that happened. We have broken vows here. Yeah, the Ten of Cups in reverse. Mars in Pisces, which is disconnection and lack of emotional well-being. He is not doing well. He is not emotionally doing well. This is dysfunctional family or marriage or misaligned values, shattered dreams, emotionally unfulfilled. So this feels to me like Eddie could be going through something on the home front. He may be in an environment that's not very healthy with his parents, or this could just be that he felt jealous because Karmelo was with his girlfriend and maybe he really did have a strong attraction to her. But he could also be pointing out here with the broken vows that he was a bad friend. He broke the covenant of friendship. Why did he set Karmelo up? Let's see. Did he set Karmelo up? So we have swingers in an open relationship. Interesting. So we have the Knight of Wands here, Sagittarius energy. It says doesn't want an exclusive relationship and non-committal, keeping options open and sexually fluid. And then we have undefeated here, the Five of Swords, which is hate and an ambush. Yeah, he set Karmelo up. He set him up. And I do feel there may be some attraction. I'm wondering if Eddie's girlfriend allegedly may have even entertained him at some point. Maybe she gave him false hope. Maybe there was something going on behind Karmelo's back with her. Again, this is alleged. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. I don't know the young lady. But the Five of Swords tells me he wanted to win at all costs. At all costs. Wow. He wishes that, it says here, he wished for a peaceful resolution of the conflict, but it was too far gone. Was he jealous of Karmelo? Was he jealous of Karmelo? We have the Wheel of Fortune. That's a yes. That's a maybe leaning towards yes. And we have spell casting, wow, black magic and rituals, spell work, juju, energy work, manipulation, love spell, and sex magic. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's even possible he could have had an attraction to Karmelo with sexual fluidity being on the table. I do feel like he was attracted to somebody. Now, it could be Karmelo's girlfriend, but considering sexual fluidity is here, it could also be that he had an attraction to Karmelo. Maybe he was jealous of the girlfriend. That's a spin that nobody's, looked at, to my knowledge, but that could be exactly what's going on here. This felt like ritualism. This felt ritualistic. Show me more. What were his true feelings towards Karmelo prior to this event? We have a line in the sand. He was setting boundaries and limits and putting his foot down. Why? He was choosing a side, and it wasn't Karmelo's side. We have marginalized, wow, sidelined and outcasted, criticized and demeaned, belittled, vulnerable, oppressed, underrepresented, and unimportant. He harbors some anti-black sentiments. I do believe he is biracial, and I do believe he's half black. I do believe, I could be wrong, half black, and I believe either half Asian or half Hispanic. And so he harbors some anti-black sentiments. He felt like Karmelo was outnumbered. He felt like it was better to go with the crowd than to go against it, which could even point to that Hierophant energy, because that does talk about playing along, going along with the programming, conforming. So I do feel like there was a lot in the sand here, and he felt like he chose his side, and Karmelo wasn't the one that he chose. Did he intentionally set him up? Did he intentionally set him up? Okay, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Absolutely he did. This is very toxic energy. The Queen of Swords in reverse is a nag. She represents the energy of someone who is unforgiving, cold, calculating, and we have nothing on you. So this feels like he was looking at Karmelo like he fell short and he didn't measure up. It actually says they stay in competition but can't compare. But they see you as one of one. So there was jealousy here with the Queen of Swords in reverse. There was even malicious gossip going on, as the Queen of Swords reverse does represent malicious gossip. It can sometimes represent the energy of not welcoming other people in, being very biased or partial. So he chose his side. He was really cruel. This is a really cruel-hearted person, the Queen of Swords in reverse. They have turned their heart cold. They're giving you the cold shoulder. This is why he denied him. This is awful. So what will Eddie's karma be for his betrayal? What will Eddie's karma be for his betrayal? We have the tip of the iceberg. It says there's more than meets the eye. Get to the bottom of things first. Do your due diligence. There's more to come or uncover. We are just scratching the surface. I do feel that there will be, he will be made a spectacle of. The cards say he will be made a spectacle of, and he will be famous, but not for a good reason. His 15 minutes of fame will be relegated to negativity, as the truth will be exposed, the lies will be brought to the forefront, and this group of children who got on that stand and perjured themselves and lied on this young man, there's consequences for that. We have yet to see how massive this could be. Now, I do want to point out I was actually listening to a lawyer on YouTube, and he was explaining that with the way that the prosecutor's office used these children and conspired against Karmelo, allegedly, they're saying there would be no way that they would then turn around and perjure their own witnesses who spoke on behalf of them, because that would almost be telling on themselves. So this may be more of a karmic or cosmic spiritual punishment than it will be in the literal sense of the court system. But understand there's a higher court, and that is the spiritual court. And that spiritual court is saying, hey, we see everything. And there's more to come. There's more that's going to be exposed. We're just scratching the surface. Show me more about his karma. So we have the Two of Cups, which represents the friendships, and then we have the Justice card reverse, the double standard, which represents unfair treatment and getting away with wrongdoing. injustice and a lack of integrity, no accountability, expects more than they give out of violence, criminal activity, the cheat code, an unfair advantage, a hypocrite and a walking contradiction. And I want to point out what I just said. That's a miscarriage of justice. They're going to get away with this in the legal sense, but not in the spiritual sense. I do believe that these children got together and conspired against Karmelo. They worked as a team. Is anyone feeling guilty about what they've done to him? Is anyone feeling guilty? Is anyone feeling guilty? We got the Wheel of Fortune again, and we have bragging. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Arrogant, cocky, loud, and a show-off. No, they don't feel guilty, but they need to understand this Wheel of Fortune has come out 3 times, which is karma. You reap what you sow. They will pay for this, but this is spiritual karma. This is about the universe being in control. So everything that we do comes back to us. I do not feel like we'll have to pay for this legally. I don't. But in the spiritual realm, absolutely. They're going to have karmic debt to pay. Yeah, we have a hall path, an exception to the rule. Okay, we have an open relationship showing up again. I don't know what is going on with this open relationship. And we have the 4 of Swords here. Jupiter in Libra. So the 4 of Swords talks about a period of recovery or kind of laying low, being silent. I do feel that they may be having trouble sleeping, but they will get away with this in a legal sense. I don't see them paying for this legally, but again, they will pay spiritually. 2 more. We have infidelity. This could affect their interpersonal relationships, their relationships with women, girls, or whomever they date. And we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, there's a lot of spiritual hexing and cursing going on in this situation. I also feel like a little bit of a destiny swap. I feel like they wanted Karmelo's life, his essence. So this is argumentative, two-faced energy, scatterbrain energy, defensive, easily baited. The thing is, there will be a way to easily get these boys. But I just believe they have so much protection in that town. It will take a higher court to do it. And that could be another way it comes. It could come through a higher court. It will not come through the local court there in Frisco or Collin County. No, it will not. But they also have a hex on them. Yeah, the Page of Swords in reverse. That's the evil eye. That evil eye that they put out to Karmelo is going to circle back to them. It's going to affect their relationships. It's going to affect them for a long time. This may be something that plays out not only in their lifetime, but their children's as well. Because they're creating karmic debt here. We have the Devil, and we have continuous struggle. Yeah, they're going to have to watch out for their health. The Devil with the 9 of Wands is some kind of struggle, possibly with addictions that could be due to guilt. You know, I feel like these children are internalizing their guilt. It's not showing up on the surface. But as far as they feel when they're not around anyone else, when they're in isolation, they're showing up as people who may end up suffering from addictions or maybe health ailments, something of that nature. The devil is on them. They haven't gotten away with anything, although I don't feel like the court system locally will deal with them because they work on behalf of the court system in Frisco. I just kind of want to look and see, how does Karmelo feel about Eddie? How does Karmelo feel about Eddie? He's playing it cool. He is the King of Swords. It says he's unbothered, nonchalant, playing down his true feelings, emotionally unavailable, and suppressing emotions. Now, that could mean that he's saying he feels that way because he has bigger fish to fry right now, trying to get his freedom. Or he could be pointing out here with the King of Swords, which is Aquarius Mercury energy, that he feels that Eddie is very cold and nonchalant. Show me more. How is Karmelo feeling? He doesn't want to be bothered. The 4 of Cups. He's emotionally checked out, staying to himself. He's frustrated, preoccupied, rejecting offers, and self-absorbed. He feels like the opportunity for friendship definitely has passed. He would never want to talk to him again. Karmelo, in one of my last readings that I did about him, I did mention that he was a Capricorn, but when I looked him up again, it actually said he's born on May 10th, which would make him a Taurus. And when I realized that he was a Taurus, it made a lot of sense to me why he did not get up when they told him to get up. Every time they told him to get up, anyone who knows a Taurus knows you cannot make a Taurus move when you tell them to move. That made him stay. He may have elected to get up on his own if it was his own decision, but every time they told him to move out of that seat, to move off of those bleachers, they could chalk that up as a loss. He was never going to move because they told him to move. That just goes against a Taurus's nature. Okay, so he feels like he doesn't want anything to do with Eddie. He sees him as a traitor. We have an end of an era. So this is closing out a chapter or a cycle. He's self-actualizing. He has closure. And he's saying, hey, this is the end of it. There's nothing left to discuss. It's over. I just need my freedom. Okay, so he shows up as the Queen of Cups, which does talk about being supportive and nurturing and empathetic towards someone. He said, I was a good friend. I cared for Eddie at some point. Not anymore. That'll never happen again. But, you know, this was a Judas who got close to me in the name of friendship just to betray me. All right, I think that might be all I have for you all today. Thank you for being here with me. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you have not already.